a look at one of our classic films of the 1940s.
I have the room ready for you, Mrs. Barrington.
Thank you, Walter.
Did you hear that? Mrs. Barrington.
Not quite, darling, but soon. Very, very soon. Hello.
Yes?
Get a bottle of champagne sent to the room at once. And make sure that we are not disturbed for any reason.
Alright, not exactly a classic Universal film, just Jimmy Fallon having a little fun there inside of stage 20. On our right, we are passing by Fire Station 51, and that is a real working fire station on our lot. It's also where we leave the real world behind and continue on into the cinematic world of make-believe. Heading down the hill to the front lot, it houses the majority of our... Yes, a lot of history inside of stage 12. As we pass by, you'll see the Voice logo kind of wrapped around the corner over there. For many years, the Voice did use stage 12. They no longer do. They moved out a while back. They are still on the Universal lot. They're just now using a few of our Backlot sound stages. I think that area works a little better for them. Anyway, we officially enter the front lot. As we do so, on our right, you're going to see that, well, we've had some construction going on, and this is for our upcoming Super Nintendo World. Should be a lot of fun when that opens up. Off to our left, a nice little block of sound stages. As that we pass by, we'll have their side doors open. We'll take a little peek inside as we travel past. Never know what you might see on the studio tour. The last two stages that we'll pass by here, 17 and 16, they were both used for our show Superstore with America Ferrera and Ben Feldman starring. After Superstore moved out, they were taken over by Saved by the Bell, now its second season with Mario Lopez, who was Berkeley starring. Also, there is a great big building directly in front of us. It is the Carl Laemmle building, named after our studio founder, Carl Laemmle. He formed Universal Pictures in New York. All the way back in 1912, the New West. We actually began making movies on this property in 1914, though our official grand opening was not until March 15th of 1915. So it's past March 15th, well, we're 106 years old, not too shabby. Coming up on our left is one of our larger stages, stage 21. For years it was home to the Mindy Project with Mindy Kaling. It was also a stage used by Superstore. Currently it is used by Saved by the Bell. Back in 1995 it housed Mission Control for Apollo 13, did by Ron Howard, starring Tom Hanks, Gary Sinise, Kevin Bacon, and Bill Paxton.
Realism was an essential. Everything had to be exact, even down to the tiniest detail.
Thank you, Mr. Howard. Now on the right, we'll pass by another block of sound stages. They are primarily used for television. A couple of the TV shows that use some of the stages in this area include Good Girls with Christina Hendricks, Red Ed, Mae Whitman, and also Mr. Mayor with Ted Danson, Holly Hunter, and Bobby Moynihan. Our television history with NBC goes back many years. We make our way through. And as it turns out, the Minions aren't the only crazy characters who hang out on this block. Coming up on the left is Ted, who's enjoying a nice martini. Ted has been in a very celebratory mood lately. He's got a new TV show that's going to be coming out soon. Of course, Seth MacFarlane is behind that. Coming up on the right, we have the Bud Westmore building. Bud Westmore, in case you didn't know, was a makeup artist. But the Bud Westmore building actually has no makeup in it. It houses our lighting department. There's also a mill in the back where they build sets, but no makeup. Back over to our left, we are passing by some bungalows. This house the production offices for writers, producers, and directors who currently have a development deal with us here at Universal. Past this next little grouping of bungalows, 5180 and 5170. In the parking lot, you'll see some of the parking spaces reserved for $7 only. $7 is the name of the production company of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. So check out locations, and it does have offices here on the lot. We'll also pass one of the more historic bungalows, bungalow 5195, that is currently home to the De Laurentiis Company, but years ago belonged to Alfred Hitchcock, who directed such films as Psycho, Vertigo, and The Birds. And as we pass by, you'll see Hitch's profile next to the bungalow numbering. They still got a little tribute to him there. We'll also pass the last two of our front lot sound stages, 22 and 23. These stages are pretty new, about 5 or 6 years old. Recently they've been used for the new show Kenan, starring Kenan Thompson from Saturday Night Live. That show is currently on hiatus. They're taking a little time off. We're going to be crossing over into the backlot. Now the backlot is where we shoot the big stuff. Big exterior shots on a very large scale. Stuff we normally couldn't do in a soundstage due to the size constraints. As we enter the backlot, on the left we'll catch a little bit of the metropolitan area, which we use to portray major cities. We do kind of have to keep a bit of distance from Metro. It's been pretty busy lately. A lot of shows have been coming through. Brooklyn Nine-Nine of Andy Samberg, Good Girls. There's also been a couple of productions using it as of late that do not wish for any publicity, so we're going to give them some space to do what they need to do, and we'll continue up into the hills and pay a visit to King Kong.
It's the original King Kong that made me want to direct movies. I saw that movie on TV when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I wanted to become a filmmaker. I like films that just take you away from your real life and sweep you up in adventure. Kong literally does that. I mean, you're on board the ship, you're sailing to a lost island, you're encountering monsters and creatures from, prehistoric times. So I was thrilled when Universal invited me back to Skull Island, and it's great to have you along for the ride. Now, we have created this 3D immersive experience, so you're going to have to the audience is in the middle of the environment. They're looking at
a picture car is any vehicle on a set that can be seen by the camera. Some of our vehicles have become just as famous as the stars who've driven them, and over the years the picture cars have grown bigger, badder, and faster as movie audiences have embraced their need for speed. The Jurassic Park, you'll see many of the set pieces and vehicles from Jurassic Park and the Lost World Jurassic Park, both of which star Jeff Goldblum. On our left, we are starting to pass by the big camouflage RV. This was the mobile lab unit in the Lost World Jurassic Park. The far end of that is the converted Humvee. It's got the swing chairs on the side and look around of some dinosaurs. You even get a better look at some of these big logs and limbs and things. And wait a minute. Yes, a nice dinosaur spit. Keep you nice and invigorated for the rest of the day here at Universal. As we just found out, nothing ever truly extinct in Hollywood, not even dinosaurs. We'll continue on down south, so to speak, here on the Backlot to an area called Old Mexico. It's been used in feature films like Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, Three Amigos, Nacho Libre. Also in TV shows like Amazing Stories, ER, The Fat Trace. And to kind of mix things up, here on the Backlot, why don't we have a weather effects demonstration in Old Mexico. It's probably as good a spot as any. So we'll come down here and see what we can conjure up. Alright, time for a bit of a thunderstorm. Might catch some occasional lightning flashes done with high intensity flash bulbs. You already hear a little thunder, an audio effect done through speakers. And here is your rain. Sprinkles high overhead, shoot water up into the air, water comes right back down. Gives it the illusion of falling rain. So no matter how many consecutive days of sunshine, like normally have in Universal City, we can make it rain, a thunderstorm, whatever we want right here on the back. And it is nice in the warmer months of the year to come down here, get a nice refreshing shower, kind of cool off for the remainder of the tour. Now, we don't want to hang out too long, get too much rain. You may have noticed we are in a bit of a low-lying area at the bottom of the hill, so too much rain can obviously cause a variety of problems. Like, for one, flash flood that's heading for us right now. Look out, it gets close.
Oh my god.
The Backlot in 2002, used in the film Big Fat Liar with Frankie Muniz and Adam Hines and Paul Giamatti. And with that, we'll cross the border, so to speak, from Old Mexico into one of our western sets. We're entering 6 Points, Texas. Our famous movie cowboys, and those who do 6 points at one time or another. Talking about guys like John Wayne, Jimmy Stewart, Clint Eastwood, Jimmy Fallon. Wait, Jimmy Fallon? That can't be right.
This town ain't big enough for the both of us, Jimmy Fallon.
Well, I ain't going anywhere, Jimmy Fallon.
Now look here. Nice folks in this tram don't want no trouble. They just want to check out 6 Points, one of the oldest sets on the Universal lot.
I hear this is where John Wayne and Jimmy Stewart shot a few of their westerns.
That's right. That's where I aim to shoot you.
Looks like we got ourselves a Mexican standoff.
We just have to talk it out, that's all.
Now, the area gets the name 6 Points, Texas, because many, many years ago, in our silent filmmaking days, we could shoot 6 different movies in there at the same time. We would just dress each street to look like a different town. One of the more recent big productions to have shot in 6 Points, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, directed by Quentin Tarantino with Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt starring. As we exit the Wild Wild West, off to our left is a small body of water called Park Lake. Back in 1954, it was used to shoot a few scenes for one of our classic monster movies, Creature from the Black Lagoon. And the world is pretty much right around the corner here on the Backlot. Coming up ahead of us is our European sets. They're affectionately known as Little Europe on the right. And because we have access to Little Europe, sometimes we don't. Sometimes the area is closed due to a number of things. But today it's open, so we are going to swing in for a little closer look. And as we do that, Let's see how it was used for the good place.
You, Eleanor Shellstrop, are dead.
Cool.
This location, the afterlife, come on. I have never ever seen this. You're in the good place.
I'm not supposed to be here.
And I'm going to pause it right about there. The yogurt shop that you see on your screens, or as I called it, the three yogurts. Well, we're going to kind of cut off to the right here, but on the left, we pass by a little structure with some double doors, and it's got some nice fake flowers there on the windowsill. Yeah, this is it here on the left.
Place?
Maybe it's not all that bad.
How can I help you?
What is the bad place like?
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
Yes, they had a good time at the good place. But also another about our European sets. It is where a lot of our famous movie monsters got their big breaks back in the 1930s and 40s. Guys like Frankenstein's monster, Wolfman, and Dracula prowled the streets of Little Europe on our movie monster heyday.
When we think of Beatles, we think of monsters.
Dracula, Frankenstein,
Wolfman, Bride of Frankenstein.
the Mummy, the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Yeah, and we love them.
Yes, indeed we do. And now we'll have another opportunity to head indoors. Up ahead of us here is Stage 50. Stage 50 kind of special. It is one of the few multi-level sound stages in the world. Some years back, it was used to film part of an episode of the Fox series Bones, David Boreanaz and Emily Deschanel. Once we get inside a bit, we'll take a look at some of that footage.
That's with the FBI?
Yeah, hear about the human remains.
That's him. Right over there.
You alright?
Now, as you can see, Stage 50 is still dressed to look like a subway station, like it was in that episode of Bones, and that's because the subway setup here is actually the... Alright, a little seismic activity. Hopefully just a quick tremor, but you never know, so... Alright, you know what? This is a big one. Please remain seated and hang on. That was close. Well, not as close as this. Look out of the rain, away. Simulated Backlot earthquake / tidal wave. Here's how it was showcased in that same episode of Bones.
What's going on?
50 is an attraction, a little extra razzle-dazzle for the tour. Legitimate filming does actually take place there from time to time. And it is a pretty decent day, so what do you say we stop off at beautiful Amity Island and go for a nice, refreshing swim? Don't worry about the giant shark that terrorized these waters for all those years. They finally caught him. There he is out to the right. As an added measure of protection, we dispatched Officer George of the Amity PD dive team into the water to make sure things are safe so we can go for a nice... Okay, you know what? I'm going to postpone the swim that I had planned. They obviously caught the wrong shark. Our pal Officer George could be big trouble. Hey, George, get out of the water, buddy. George is on your left, like you're 11 o'clock. This is not going to end well. That's disgusting. All right, we lost Officer George, and then he just became the George Kebab. We're going to pull down here behind the dock. It should be a little safer. Do they have some bait attached to that yellow barrel in the water? Hopefully the shark will take that, not munch on us. Okay, good. There goes the bait. Very nice. Okay, the bait stopped at the line break or something. The line broke already. Gas line. And now there's a fire. I'd love probably best to... Wait a minute. Look out! Oh, here we come. Alright, just got up close and personal with Jaws, who, as it turns out, was just a big terror off-screen as he was on. I'm going to tell you more about that. The film's director, the one and only, Steven Spielberg.
That's much from a live shark. The shark is frustrated.
Always saying, the shark is not working. Repeat, the shark.
We just waited around. The shark were well enough for a while there and things to get. So I play over the shark a lot.
Home to Angela Lansbury is Jessica Fletcher. With 12 successful seasons of Murder, She Wrote, the area portrayed Cat Cove. And we climb yet another hill on the Chicken Ranch, by the way, is a practical set, and that means it can be used for interior filming as well as exterior. It is not a facade structure, a false front, like you see in its backyard, which is a leftover from a show called About a Boy, that starred Minnie Driver. So we pass by the Chicken Ranch, we take a turn onto a little side street. Its official name is Colonial Street, but for 8 years it was known as something else. It was Wisteria Lane, home to the desperate housewives from ABC.
If there is one thing everyone in suburbia can appreciate, it's a good neighbor.
What the heck? Let's go back.
Now, the housewives moved out back in 2012. Since that time, Colonial Street has been used by numerous other productions. One of the more recent, the Netflix series Never Have I Ever, that Mindy Kaling executive produces. Colonial Street is also very, very popular for television commercials. Zoom around the cul-de-sac here and make another pass. And let's take a look at some other productions that have shot up here throughout the years. Tour today, we've been seeing places where movies and TV shows have been filmed, but the tour tram itself has also been featured on both the big and small screens throughout the years. Let's take a look at a few of our tram cameos. We are riding on history. The Psycho House up on the hill is built at 3/4 scale. That means on screen it's going to look farther away than it actually is. It's also what we call a shell structure. Basically, you open up the front door, pretty much just one big wide open space. It really doesn't have any interior rooms. Also, as we pass by the front of the Psycho house, look to the upstairs window, the upper left face. You should be able to wave hello to Mother. She's usually up there watching the trams go by. Don't think she really has much else to do, so that's how she kind of spends her days. Anyway, we pass her by and continue into another great set. This is the incredible crash site from Steven Spielberg's version of War of the Worlds in the theaters back in 2005, starring Tom Cruise, Dakota Fanning, and Tim Robbins.
The airplane on the crash site is a perfect example of a set that is all designed around indigenous Steven.
You forget to sit down and talk about the world. I thought, what if the 747 goes down right in a big neighborhood? Because
Get in.
As we exit the War of the Worlds crash site, we're going to come out into an area called Falls Lake. Its main feature is a giant blue backdrop, the largest freestanding backdrop in all of Hollywood. You kind of see it off to the right, a little behind us there. In 2016, particular government witnesses being tracked by a very dangerous individual named Owen Shaw. So Bob suggested we move in a Sullivan truck repair and kind of hang out for a bit. And again, we got some pretty cool vehicles to look at. Now we are supposed to be the contact in here. In this first bay, a gentleman named Roman Pierce. When he gets here, he's going to let us know where we're going, what we're doing, all that kind of fun stuff. And then, oh, here he is.
My name is Roman Pierce.
Hi, Roman.
Pleased to meet you. My buddy Hobbs asked us to stash you with Shaw for a while. So we brought you in our secret spot.
Alright, look guys, we're gonna keep Shaw from finding you, but to keep you safe, we need your help. We don't want the syndicate tracking us here, so put away your cameras and turn off your cell phones. One flash or one ringtone.
You got through it. Y'all held us down. Appreciate it. They say the bigger the family, the stronger it is. You guys did good out there. And you're welcome to join our crew anytime.
Downloading the official Universal Studios Hollywood app on your smartphone so you can stay up to the minute with all park information. And of course, we want to thank you for taking the tour with us today. Hope you had a good time and hope you enjoy the rest of your day here at Universal Studios Hollywood, the entertainment capital of LA. We're open until 8 o'clock tonight.